Yo, what up everybody? It's Deepak. Welcome back to the channel. Now, I love breaking down the latest tech, but today we're flipping the script. We're diving deep into something that impacts all of us, no matter what year you were born, generations, specifically how different generations interact with technology, how they use it to shape their world, and what that means for the future. From millennials who saw the rise of the internet to Gen Alpha, who are practically born with a smartphone in hand, we're unpacking it all. So buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride through the past, present and future of tech as we explore millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and even the up-and-coming Generation Beta. Let's get started. Alright, first up we've got the millennials, born between 1981 and 1996. These are the folks who straddle the line between the analog and digital worlds. They remember a time before smartphones, before social media dominated our lives. A simpler time when dial-up was the move. But here's the thing about millennials: they adapted. They saw the potential of the internet, of personal computers, and they embraced it. They were the early adopters, the ones who rode the wave of technological advancement. Think about it. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. All these platforms blew up during their formative years. This constant exposure to emerging tech made them adaptable, quick learners in a world that was rapidly changing. They weren't afraid to experiment, to figure things out on the fly. Remember those chunky MP3 players? Yeah, millennials were all over that. And it wasn't just about the technology itself. It was about the experiences it enabled. Millennials valued connection, sharing their lives and exploring the world around them. They were the pioneers of the digital nomad lifestyle, the ones who showed us that work didn't have to be confined to a cubicle, but it wasn't always smooth sailing. Millennials also bore witness to the downsides of rapid technological advancement. They saw the rise of internet addiction, the spread of misinformation, and the erosion of privacy. They learned the hard way that not every technological innovation is a positive one. Despite the challenges, millennials embraced the digital world with open arms. They were the bridge between the old and the new, shaping the technological landscape we know today. Their experiences laid the groundwork for the generations that followed, setting the stage for a world increasingly intertwined with the digital realm. They are the generation that remembers a time before the internet, but they are also the generation that helped to build it into what it is today. They're the generation that remembers a time when you had to wait for a song to download, but they are also the generation that can now stream any song in the world instantly. They are the generation that remembers a time when you had to actually call someone to talk to them. But they are also the generation that can now video chat with anyone in the world for free. Millennials are a generation of contradictions, but they're also a generation of pioneers. They are the generation that helped to usher in the digital age, and they are the generation that is still shaping it today. Next up, we've got Gen Z, born roughly between 1997 and 2012. These guys and girls didn't just grow up with the internet, they were practically born with a smartphone in hand. This generation doesn't know a world without social media or instant access to information. That's had a profound impact on how they see the world. Gen Z is known for their digital fluency, navigating the online world with ease. They're the meme masters, the TikTok trendsetters, and can sniff out fake news from a mile away. Gen Z uses their digital prowess to make their voices heard. They're passionate about social justice, climate change, and making the world a better place. They use social media as a platform for activism, mobilizing around causes they care about. We've seen Gen Z make their mark on everything from climate strikes to Black Lives Matter protests. They're not just consuming content, they're creating it and holding those in power accountable. Gen Z is also incredibly entrepreneurial. They've grown up in the era of the side hustle, turning passion into business with just a laptop and Wi-Fi. They're not afraid to take risks and blaze their own trails. This generation is comfortable with uncertainty and the ever-changing digital landscape. They're adaptable, resilient, and not afraid to challenge the status quo. They're the ones who will shape the future of technology. And I, for one, am excited to see what they do next. Gen Z is the most diverse generation in history, more accepting of different backgrounds than any before them. They're also the most educated generation, more likely to go to college than any before them. This generation is also more likely to be diagnosed with mental health issues. This is likely due to pressure to succeed, constant social media use, and fear of missing out. Despite challenges, Gen Z is full of hope and promise. They are determined to make the world a better place. Hold on to your hats, folks, because here come Gen Alpha, born from 2013 onwards. This is the generation that's growing up fully immersed in the digital world. They've never known a world without touchscreens, without voice assistants, without augmented reality. Technology is as natural to them as breathing, and they're using it in ways that we can barely even imagine. We're talking kids coding before they can read, building robots in their living rooms, and creating their own virtual worlds. Gen Alpha is growing up with access to more information than any generation before them. They can learn about anything they want, at any time they want. They're also growing up in a world where they can connect with anyone, anywhere in the world. This generation is more likely to be exposed to different cultures and perspectives than any generation before them. They're digital natives in the truest sense of the word, and they're only just getting started. Now, it's still early days for Gen Alpha, but one thing's for sure. They're going to be the most technologically advanced generation yet. They're growing up with AI as a given, with the metaverse as their playground, with possibilities that we haven't even dreamed of yet. But it's not just about the tech itself, it's about how they're going to use it. Gen Alpha is growing up in a world facing some serious challenges: climate change, social inequality, political polarization. The question is, how will they use their technological prowess to address these issues? Will they be the generation that finally cracks the code on climate change? Will they be the ones to bridge the gap between the digital divide? Will they be the ones to usher in a new era of peace and understanding? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, Gen Alpha is going to have a profound impact on the world. They're the future, and the future is looking pretty darn interesting. Finally, let's take a peek into the future with Generation Beta expected to start arriving in the mid-2020s. Now, we're talking true uncharted territory here. We can speculate, make educated guesses, but the reality is we're talking about a generation that will be shaped by technologies that haven't even been invented yet. Think about it. What will the world look like in 2040, in 2050? What kind of technology will Generation Beta be using? What kind of world will they inherit? It's both exciting and a little bit daunting to think about. One thing's for sure. Generation Beta will be growing up in a world facing some major challenges. Climate change will likely be an even more pressing issue, and the gap between the haves and have-nots may be even wider. But here's the thing about generations. They're defined not just by the challenges they face, but by how they rise to meet them. Generation Beta will inherit a world shaped by the generations that came before them, but they'll also have the opportunity to reshape it in their own image. They'll have access to more information, more technology, and more interconnectedness than any generation in history. The question is, what will they do with it? Will they use it to build a more sustainable future? Will they use it to create a more equitable society? Will they use it to solve some of the world's most pressing problems? We don't have the answers yet. But one thing's for sure, Generation Beta will be writing their own story, and I, for one, can't wait to see what they come up with. One thing that we can predict is that Generation Beta will be even more diverse and globalized than any generation before them. They will grow up in a world where technology makes it easier than ever to connect with people from all over the world. This generation will be more likely to have friends and family from different cultures and backgrounds. They will also be more likely to travel and experience different parts of the world. As a result of these trends, Generation Beta will be more open-minded and tolerant than any generation before them. They will be more likely to embrace diversity and to see the world from multiple perspectives. This generation will be more likely to challenge the status quo and to come up with innovative solutions to the world's problems. They will be a generation of change makers and world changers. So there you have it, a glimpse into the past, present and future of generations through the lens of technology. From millennials who rode the wave of the early internet to Gen Alpha who are practically fluent in algorithm, it's mind-blowing to see how much has changed in just a few decades. And the craziest part, this is just the beginning. Generation Beta is on the horizon, and who knows what kind of technological marvels they'll bring with them. One thing's for sure, it's going to be an exciting ride. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed this deep dive. hit that subscribe button for more tech-focused content, and let me know in the comments what you think the future holds for Generation Beta. Until next time, peace out.